when we did the math, right? If I work, most of the salary that I will be making will just go to daycare. So for the first time ever, I was a full-time mom.
And today we have a Filipina of HamOnt financial advisor, Rachelle Capistrano. Rachel,
Hello.
hi. Rachel is a Master's of Science in Management graduate from the University of Asia and the Pacific in the Philippines. She worked in IT for 10 years with Petron
Yeah,
and Hewlett Packard, HP. That's right.
that's right.
For moving to Canada in 2014. Currently, she is a financial advisor specializing in retirement planning
Yeah.
with Great Wave Financial Inc. She is happily married to her husband Mario, and they have two adorable kids, 7-year-old Marion and 3-year-old Rafael.
Glad to be here.
Salamat ulit. So we will start with the icebreaker. If you could relate to a character in any movie or TV show, who would it be and why?
No one in particular that I relate to, but I really, really love watching and reading stories about romance. So because I don't know, maybe I'm a hopeful romantic. I really love that kilig stuff, right? So
Yeah.
I like watching Korean dramas, and in the Philippines, I love watching TV shows and movies of James Reid and Nadine Lustre, as well as Don Kiss, Donnie Pangilinan and Kisses de la Vie. So
Wow, really love teams.
love teams.
Yeah, yeah. And I like that you use the word kilig.
Yeah, I know. It means like
Giddy, like
when
you're
you feel
giddy.
so like yeah, like I don't you
Gid-
can't really explain it, but
Yeah.
it's like kind of like in a loving sense.
Yeah,
Where you're like I just do the motion.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell us what is your story with Hamilton?
Okay, my story with Canada in general before moving to Hamilton. So we migrated to Canada in 2014 because of my husband, because he got a job. So we went here via work visa. He works for an IT company, and then the home base of that company is based in Calgary. But we just stayed there, I think, for 2 weeks. His boss said that there's a project in Toronto. So because my family is based here, my entire family is based here. My mom, dad, my siblings are all, and my cousins also are all here in Hamilton. We grabbed that opportunity for him to get that project in Toronto, so we could be near our family. Then we were based here for 1 year in Hamilton. We stayed in my parents' house because of finances, because we're just new immigrants, right? And we're really uptight with money. So we stayed in my parents' basement for 1 year, and then after that, we need to fly back to Calgary because out of province, for your info, FYI, out of province health cards are only valid for 1 year. We were holding Alberta health cards, right? So it's only valid for 1 year. So we really need to go back to Calgary, Alberta, to renew our health cards. At the same time, we need to process our application for permanent residence in Alberta because our work visa is Alberta. So we need to have a Calgary address. So we flew there and stayed there for 6 months. 6 months. And then after 6 months, my husband got a project again in Toronto. So we moved back to Hamilton.
Wow.
So it really drained our finances, moving back and forth, taking our car, all of our things. So we moved back here in Hamilton. At the same time, I was pregnant with my second child, Rafael. So he was conceived in Calgary, but he was born here in Hamilton, in McMaster. So we moved here. We moved back to our parents' house again, but because it's what do you call this, crowded, because there's already 4 of us. I made a deal with my parents that after 8 months, before the school starts with my eldest, we said that we need to move out of the we need to have our own place. Yeah, we need to have our own place because for our kids to roam around. So that's where we ended up here in Boston. So that's my love story with Canada. So yeah, many movings, and then stayed for Hamilton for a year, and then now we got this apartment 2017. So we're now 3 years here, and we're planning to buy our own house soon, hopefully, God willing. So that's it.
Yay.
Here at home, both my husband and I cook, right? And the funny thing is, we just learned cooking when we moved here. I didn't learn how to cook there, but when we moved here, especially when we moved to Calgary, because it's all us. We don't have any family there. I made sure that my mom teach me how to cook. So, and then we cook mostly Filipino dishes. What I noticed first when we moved here was how Canadians hold the door, and for you, it's not very hard to navigate between Canadian culture. When we did the math, right? If I work, most of the salary that I will be making will just go to daycare. So we decided that I take care of Marion first. Then we conceived Rafael in 2016. I was planning to go back to work then. We were moving. So for the first time ever, I was a full-time mom. I got pregnant with Rafael, so I said, okay, fine. Maybe that's the sign that I should become a stay-at-home mom. And then wait for Rafael to go to JK so I can concentrate on work. But then, the Great Way opportunity was presented to me 2018. And then it was introduced by one of my brothers in Couples for Christ, one of my friends in Couples for Christ. Said that, oh, Rachel, do you want to learn about finance? Do you want to help families financially plan their retirement? So I said, why not? So I became a student. But then it's very hard to juggle studying, learning about the tricks and the secrets of finance with 2 kids. So it took me a year. It took me a year before I finally got my provincial license, and then it was only last year, 2019, that I finally became contracted with Great Way. The next struggle is scheduling, because before COVID, my job is really face-to-face, meeting with clients wherever they are. So if they want to meet at their house, if they are in Scarborough, I'll go there. If they're in Kitchener, I'll go there. Really, my capital is the car and the gas. That's really what I spend most on. So scheduling, because my husband is also working. So, but the good thing is, he is based from home. Because it's based in Scarborough, he made a deal with his boss that if he could work from home most of the time, and he would just go to the office if he needs to. So that's it. So now with COVID, so he is not adjusting that much because he's working from home, right? So, but the scheduling, so whenever I need to go out, even if he's working from home, he's having a hard time as well, because what if he has meetings? What if he needs to concentrate? So what will happen to the 2 kids?
So you talked about what motivated you, and then the challenges and the struggles. So would you like to share anything that's fulfilling about your
what
life?
I do? The most fulfilling is because I specialize in retirement planning, right? So most people I talk to, they don't even have a retirement plan in place. They just have a regular savings account. When you do the math, when you do the calculations, even if you save in your savings account, even in TFSA and RRSP, they're the 2 most common ones. Even if you maximize, it's 6,000 per year. You're allowed to save in TFSA 6,000 per year. Even if you maximize that, when you retire, you will just get 150,000 or 200,000. It's not enough, because when you say you retire, it means you don't work, right? When you retire, you don't work. So, but then the bills will not retire. The expenses will not retire, right? So if you have 100 to 200,000 in your bank account, in just a snap, it will be drained. So as well as in RRSP also, that's the most common, registered retirement savings plan. Most Canadians do that, but the bad thing about it is it's taxable. So each time you withdraw money, it gets drained because of the taxes. So that's what I love. That's what I love with my work. Educating people about the essence of retirement.
Yeah, so in line with that, do you have any recommendations or advice you would give others who would like to pursue the same field?
The main struggle in my field is we need to connect to a lot of people. But what pushed me is I said that no, I need to go out of my comfort zone. Trivia. When Annabelle was the first one who approached me. I remember that. Back in the parking lot. Although we smile, when we get our daughters, Ahelia and Marion. We just smile, hi, hello, that's it. But then when I was walking towards the parking lot, he said that, hello, is your daughter grade 1 as well? Right? They're in grade 1.
Yeah, they were in grade 1. So that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, so is your
3 years
daughter...
ago.
Yeah, is your daughter grade 1 as well? Yeah, ganyan. And then she said, where do you live? She was the first one who approached me. So me, I don't do that to strangers. But then in my line of work, I need to let go of that shyness. So maybe that's one of the it made me push. It made me go out of my comfort zone. All of our leaders say that even if it's hard, don't let go. Eventually reach the start of the line. If it's hard, focus on yourself. If you're having a hard time connecting to other people, focus on yourself. It means attend trainings, attend continuing education. More knowledgeable, people will flock to you, right? People will flock to you.
So, what are your hopes for the Filipino Canadian community in Hamilton, in the country? Yeah, I know that you have 2 kids as well, so maybe you can even approach it like that too.
My hope is for the Filipino community to become more connected. My connection is just those I know, like my family, my colleagues from Gateway, and then my Couples for Christ community. But apart from that, that's why I agreed to this. I agreed to this interview. I have many Filipino neighbors. But then we just when we see each other, we just smile and nod, but we don't really, we don't really talk to each other, we don't really connect. But back home in the Philippines, you know all of your neighbors, you talk to them, you even invite them in your homes. Mas maganda, 'di ba? Parang it's mas maganda if we are connected, and then if there is activity, or I don't know, if there are events, we could attend that and broaden our connection more. Taste of Manila. So they have that in Toronto. So Taste of Manila. So every para siyang food fest. So that's where you make a connection. So I don't know, maybe here in Hamilton we can do events also. Even small one first, tapos eventually maging big. So
maybe if you want to maybe share, like, if someone that is watching this video maybe is interested, how can they contact you?
Okay, so I'm Rachelle Capistrano. I'm a financial advisor specializing in tax-free retirement planning. So if you want to get in touch with me, so I do knowledge sharing. There's no commitment, I do knowledge sharing. What are the different retirement plans out there available for Canadians, for permanent residents, Canadians, even those who are in work visas, they can avail of that. So my number is 905-962-5342. So, and then my email address is rmcapistrano, that's CAPISTRANO @greatwayfinancial.ca. It's one word. So that's it.